help a lot of people around the world. I mean, I get emails from people in other countries, and it's been overwhelming. It's been overwhelming, and I mean, I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful to be able to help someone else.
Right. What was the best compliment you've received after your weight loss? You know, like, hey, Lara, you're looking good, or you know, like, do you see more attention from women? Like, what's the best thing that's happened since you've dropped 700 pounds?
Well, now that's a two-part question, two-part comment.
Yeah.
Well, what was exciting to me the most, going into Burlington Coat Factory and being able to pick up a 2X pants.
Yes, God.
And I tell you, I'm going to tell you, my waist was a 98. I couldn't get pants in a 98 waist. I had to get my clothes custom made. I was shopped in king sizes and big and tall, and their clothes only went up to an 8 and 9X.
Wow.
So it was such a great feeling to be able to go into a store and pick up a 2X.
Right.
And as far as the ladies is concerned, I'm making up for lost time now.
Okay. So you have a special someone in your life?
I had a girlfriend, and now I'm looking for another one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it didn't work out too well.
Yeah, well.
It didn't work out too well, but that's all right. I'm still young. I would like to get married and maybe have one or two children. I got a bunch of nieces and nephews, so, you know, it's all good.
Was this particular woman, you know, with you on your weight loss journey? Like,
no, at that point I was by myself, and I think that was more by choice. I didn't even look in the mirror at myself. I was such ashamed at how I just let myself go.
Yeah.
So I kind of sheltered myself.
Yeah. Do you think that you were depressed, like severely depressed, and that's why? You know, like the weight.
I'm sorry, the phone is chopping up again.
Can you hear me now? Sir?
Hear
Hello?
Hear now I got you.
Okay. Do you think depression played a part in your weight gain?
Oh, absolutely. The depression and just people in general looking at you and laughing. I mean, I can remember like it was yesterday going outside for a taxi, and the taxi would see me and just pull right off.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, absolutely. But what's so rewarding is I was in Walmart, and I seen one of the taxi drivers.
Yeah.
And he recognized the voice, but he said, "You're not Larry." And I looked at him, and I said, "Oh, yes, I am."
Yeah.
And I began to talk to him. That's why we have to be careful how we treat people.
Yeah, you're right.
We really do.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. You know, you're absolutely right. Speaking of people, how did they change around you? Like, you know, like the people who are in your environment or in your circle, have they changed to, you know, like how they talk to you or how they feel about you, or you don't pay that stuff any attention?
The ones that really know me, they look like they're in shock a little bit sometimes when they're around me. Mm-hmm. But some other people, once I show them my pictures, they're stunned almost, because it's not like, that's not real. I mean, I've been asked on national TV, was those pictures, you know, photoshopped? And I'm like saying, no, are you kidding me? That was actually me.
Right.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right. Once again, it's on. What's up, fam? Welcome to another edition of Just a Bit Outside, the sports radio show for BeExposedRadio.com. To my right, I have my awesome... how could I forget myself? I am your host, Kescia, and to my right, I have James. And And across from me, I
What's
got
up,
the
B. Moore?
man with the master plan. Got my man Mark in the building. All right. We got a nice show planned for you guys. A lot of topics that we wanted to discuss. There's a lot going on this past week. Of course, we have the NBA playoffs that are in full swing, and we are coming into the closing moments, so to speak, of the first round. We also have some NHL playoff action to discuss. Big weekend for football. We have the NFL draft going down on Thursday, and I know a lot of you guys are excited about that. We also have a couple of little smaller stories that we want to talk about with you guys. Serena Williams, the pregnancy, a lot to talk about with that. We have a really awesome local story as well. Juan Dixon, hometown hero, gonna coach the
Coppin State.
Coppin
Yeah,
State men's
State.
basketball team.
Yeah, so I know a lot of local folks will be interested in that as well. So we got a nice little menu, got a nice little show prepared for you guys. Y'all ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, great. First, let's just start the show off on kind of a somber moment. Aaron Hernandez took his life this past week, and a lot of, if you did not know, if you've been living under a rock, he's been in jail for
Aaron Hernandez, former
go
tight
ahead.
end for the Patriots.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? He had recently gone to jail for homicide.
Yeah, actually 2 cases. One was a double murder, and this one was a shooting outside of a nightclub.
And what's crazy is the week before he was acquitted of the double murder.
Mm-hmm.
He was in jail for the murder of semi-professional football player Odin Lloyd, who
Right.
they were good friends. And from what I understand, that murder actually had to do with the double murder. So it's like, how can he get convicted of the one but not of the other? I mean, I guess the state just didn't have enough evidence. But, he got acquitted. Obviously, he's spending his life in jail. And, no matter what the guy did, you don't want to see it end like that. He hung himself with his bedsheet and jammed the door so that they couldn't get in on time. And also another thing I read was that he soaped up the floor, so if he got scared or tried to back out, he didn't have a way out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so a lot of people are crying conspiracy on this. What do you think about that?
I honestly don't think it was a conspiracy. I think with, he came to a moment of clarity,
Yeah.
so to speak. I mean, it's a lot for a young person. It's a lot to come to grips with. I'm going to spend the rest of my life in jail.
Right, because it was a life without the possibility of parole, right?
Yeah.
There's no chance of
Was
him
the
getting
sentence
out.
from
Exactly.
the Odin Lloyd case, yeah.
Right.
So he was already serving life without parole, so it really didn't even matter what happened in this second case, but he was acquitted anyway, like you said.
Yeah. And what's almost like the knife twisting in his back was the jail that he was in, serving in. Like, you could see Patriot Stadium from there.
Oh,
Gillette
wow.
Stadium. Yeah.
Wow.
So, like I said, you don't, for all the terrible things he did, you just don't want to see someone go out like
Yeah.
that.
Like that, yeah. But, his actions tormented a lot of people, terrorized a lot of lives. It's just a bad ending to a horrible story.
A lot of people in the NFL, especially, they come up in hard neighborhoods, and when they get the money, when they get the fame, they act one way, and a lot of them get handlers and people that kind of, you can blow your money, you can do this, but just get out of that life. And he didn't find a way out.
Right.
Yeah, really sad story. I mean, it was already a roller coaster ride, everything leading up to him going to jail. But, I mean, a really tragic ending. And, just really sad to see how that all played out for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he leaves behind a fiance and a daughter.
Yeah,
So
a little
that's
girl.
who you got to think about more.
Yeah, that's really sad. And something with way the case ended or something that he did, they may end up receiving like $15 million or something like that. the end of his contract.
For his contract,
the
yeah,
money that
I
he
did
was
read
owed
something
for the
about
end of his
that.
contract. Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope that is true. 'Cause, that would be one silver lining to take from this wild story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And today was his funeral too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of former teammates from Florida and
Oh, I'm sure.
Patriots showed up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually read an article about how he was changing throughout the course, like the past couple of months.
Right.
So
Heard he had,
I could definitely see how something like this could
Bible
happen.
verses tattooed on top of his head.
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I said. I think he really just had a moment of clarity and, just couldn't deal.
Yeah.
So, the Just a Bit Outside family, our hearts go out to the Patriots and the family of Aaron Hernandez.
Well, it's hard to say that my heart goes out to the Patriots, but
I mean, they lost a brother.
in a case
man.
like this, our condolences to his family, to his daughter and his fiance, definitely.
Absolutely.
Right on.
So moving on, we broke the news actually about Juan Dixon through our inside connections at Coppin State University. We actually broke that story before the Baltimore Sun did.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
so Juan Dixon has been announced yesterday. He's becoming the head coach of Coppin State men's basketball team. Juan Dixon went to Lake Clifton, graduated from Calvert Hall, went to Maryland, of course, won a championship in Maryland, played for the Wizards, the Trailblazers, the Raptors, and the Pistons in the NBA. So he has some NBA experience, and then he coached a women's team in DC. So this is his first, I guess, step up in job title. So we're pretty excited, looking forward to this upcoming season.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the folks at Coppin are pretty excited as well. Juan Dixon is relieving Michael Grant, who was the head coach for the Eagles for the past 3 years, and his record left a lot to be desired. He was 25-69 over the course of that. Over the course of that 3 years, last season they went 8-24.
Yeah.
So it was pretty abysmal.
Yeah, that's unacceptable for Coppin.
Right, and being a part of the Mid-Eastern Atlantic Conference, which really
The
isn't
MEAC.
a big division, so to speak, when you're talking about the ACC, SEC, but you still want to be able to represent. You still want to be able to put your best foot forward. I mean, and this school, the Coppin's basketball team, has won less than 10 games in 4 of the last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
So it's been really, I'm pretty sure it's been really tough to play on that team. It's been really tough to follow that team and be a fan of the team. And it's been about 15 to 16 years since they've gone to the big tournament. So, with Juan Dixon coming in, you're hoping that, he'll be more of a player's coach. He's a year older than I am, so he'll be 39 this year if he hasn't turned 39 already. And it'll be a nice fresh new approach.
Hopefully.
Get some new young blood, and he'll also have an opportunity to really rebuild this team. They're losing 3 of their starters this year. They had three seniors: Terry Harris Jr., Joshua Treadwell, and Keith Shivers, who was a big part of this basketball team. Graduating, and they have a lot of voids to fill, but they can definitely build a team around their star freshman guard, DeJuan Clayton, who was named to the MEAC All-Rookie team this year. So, Juan's got his work cut out for him, but it's an excellent opportunity to, just put your stamp out there in the NCAA and, bring this program, back to the forefront of the MEAC.
Yeah, hopefully they can bring back some of the glory days of Fang Mitchell. That was those were some really exciting days for Coppin.
Yeah, and Coppin's really struggled, like you said, to bring those glory days back. So we good luck to Juan Dixon, man. You got the whole city, the whole state behind you, and hopefully we can get you up in here soon.
Yeah,
Something
hopefully,
like that.
hopefully
Work
we'll be
on
able
that.
to get an interview of Juan Dixon. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that done.
Right. Word. So, what else do we have going on? Oh yeah. Let's
Serena.
discuss the Serena pregnancy.
Serena. We also broke that news. We were able to get that picture and put it on our site before she took it down. So. Hey, we have that picture on our site as well. Everybody, go check that out. Check out Serena's pregnancy picture. So she announced her pregnancy this week.
Right, and again, if you've been living under a rock and you just don't know, she's about 5 months pregnant?
20 weeks.
20 weeks.
Yeah, so that's about 5 months pregnant, and she actually won the Australian Open earlier this year. And if you do the math, she did it while pregnant, so I guess that's another accolade to add to the long list of Serena Williams accomplishments. But
after people started doing the math too, there was actually like a group of people chastising her for that, which I just don't understand. I mean, she's an athlete; she's at the top of her physical, conditioning, and there's non-athletes, at least non-professional athletes, that they'll go into their 9th month working out, marathons and 5Ks and everything. So I think that's just ridiculous to try to take her to task for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, that early on in the pregnancy, I mean, if you couldn't tell, then what's the problem? You know, because we damn sure wasn't looking at her like, I think she might be pregnant while playing over here in Australia.
Winning the Australian Open, right.
Right. And, and she did it with grace and style like she always does. So, we were, some of us are happy to hear about it. Some people like me, I'm kind of like...
Big tennis fan, so...
I don't know about this, Serena. What about your legacy? What about, getting those titles? You want to have the record for all time.
So you're definitely taking a selfish fan approach, huh?
Oh, I am totally.
You're upset because you want to see her play.
I made plans to go see her in the U.S. Open.
Yeah, we were actually going to take a trip this year to go see Serena.
How could you do this to
figuring
me?
It was going to be like Venus's farewell for this year at the U.S. Open. So, but shout out to the Williams family. Shout out to Serena and her fiance for the new addition to the family.
We'd say his name, but it's hard.
Yeah,
the founder of Reddit.
Right, I want to say the Reddit dude. Reddit dude. Shout out for locking down Serena. I mean, you really locked her down, dog.
Billionaire, you know.
Yeah.
Right. But let me ask the question that I really haven't heard anyone ask with the announcement of this pregnancy. What does this mean for women's tennis, as a whole? Serena's going to be out for the rest of this season.
Right,
and,
rest of the season.
We still have like 6 months to go.
And still have 3 of the 4 majors.
Right.
Yep.
We still have the French Open, which
French
will be
Open
coming up
next,
really soon.
and then
we
Wimbledon.
have Wimbledon. And we also have the U.S. Open that, which is pretty much the grand finale of the tour. So, we have a whole, pretty much a whole year of season of tennis that's still left to be played. But sit tight, you guys. We're going to pay some bills when we come back. Me and the fellas are going to, discuss some more tennis and give our ideas of who we think will emerge as the new number one with Serena gone.
Then we got some NBA stuff we're going to get into, some NBA, NFL draft little stuff.
All right, so y'all don't go nowhere. Sit tight.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story, adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
If you had a dream venue, where would that be? Like, some people want to do Carnegie Hall or like a big stadium somewhere.
I want to go with Madison Square. I wanna feel that
so
building.
You just gonna shoot for the moon.
I want to feel it. I want to look out and just feel the vibration of all of those people there to be uplifted and all of that, because that's what I want to do for people.
So are you dancing? Are you...
I want to implement that. I think I want to start doing some blocking. Like, not like, tear it up. But just like a
little 1-2.
Hell, a little, not voguing, but kind of the essence of it. Very posy and, hit the mark. Yeah, we're not trying to like bust out sweats.
So that's mean you don't have the dance gene in you.
I can dance.
Okay.
That's
not what I
was doing. I can
dance.
But I'm not, trying to give that. That's not my lane. I want to keep it really kind of a retro feel with like the new school with a retro feel. Like
Okay. Little Banji Soul.
Yeah.
People gonna start using that.
Right. And they should.
Little Banji Soul. Yeah. But this market, so people know, like this was mine.
This where it came from. Because people was queens out here now that was princesses last week. They was princesses before my album dropped. Now they queen or something. Like, pinky up.
I cannot. The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on Be Exposed.
Check out this flashback from It Is What It Is radio show.
Paul he was chilling. He was doing his thing. Y'all, you feel me? Love y'all family. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like for him to be taken away from you, snatched away from you, just like that. You feel me? It's like damn. Another good one gone. You know what I'm saying? Like why you taking the good? You know what I'm saying?
You always end up asking like why.
And like again, it's a lesson that it's a test of faith. You feel me? Gonna take you through these tests. You feel me? You're gonna go through these little phases in life, yo. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you just gotta recognize that one, it's the adversary trying to knock you off your pivot, and then it's God trying to teach you something. You feel me? Right. Anything that you go through, you gonna get through. It's called going through. You feel me? That's why it's called going through. You going through something. Right. You feel me? Because after you go through it, you get through it. You look back on like, damn, I got through that. You feel what I'm saying?
For this and more, be sure to tune into BeExposedRadio.com every Friday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. to listen to more of It Is What It Is radio show.
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT or visit Fanify.com.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Different face and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Okay, welcome back, and thank you for sticking around with us. Before we get back into our discussion, we're going to do our weekly announcement.
A couple shout outs here. We got Chris Bell with the Serena discussion. She said maybe Serena will name the baby Kescia to make up for Keisha's disappointment.
I think that's a wonderful idea. Kescia Williams Reddit sounds really great.
Kescia Williams Reddit dude. Shout out to Kia Ford.
Brandon, what's up, baby?
My boy Brandon. Della Tucker, shout out. She said Serena's amazing. I think she'll come back and give it a couple more years.
We certainly hope so.
So remember, everybody, there are multiple ways to join us. Number one, phone number 410-702-5657. Again, 410-702-5657. Call us in anytime during the show. You can visit us on beexposedradio.com. This show is Just a Bit Outside. Follow us on Facebook. We now have a page, Just a Bit Outside page, or you can follow it when Kescia, Mark, or myself, when we post our Go Live. And then you can also join us on YouTube, Be Exposed Radio channel. And then, of course, the show is Just a Bit Outside.
All right. And please, share the page, share the link. I don't care if you're not watching.
Right.
I don't care if you're not a sports fan. Show us some love. Share the site. We would love to chop it up with y'all, man.
I think it's also important to say, we do this every Monday, but we had the Juan Dixon story, we had Serena Williams, and we're trying to post stuff every day for you guys.
Yeah.
So come to the Facebook page every day, and we're gonna have something for you.
Yeah. So we try to stay update on the news and everything that's going on. So also don't forget that we're a podcast. So even though we do this every Monday from 8 to 10, Monday we're live 8 to 10. You can always go on YouTube, check out our YouTube channel
or Facebook.
Go to our Facebook page and check us out. You can go to any past shows, and of course our ratings count from Monday night through Sunday night.
All right.
So if you want to help us out, boost our ratings, check us out Monday night through Sunday night.
Yeah, show us the love. All right. Well, when we left off, we were discussing the Serena Williams pregnancy, and I was saying I wanted to ask the question that no one has really asked yet: who will emerge as the new queen of the court?
Right.
With with Serena Williams out for the rest of the season,
Right.
2017 season.
Right. Tell us what you think, America. Who do you think may come through? And it's weird because the three of us are sitting here talking, and we all have different people. So
Right. Yeah. So, Mark, who's your pick for the new title, for the new queen?
There's this young German named Monica Seles that you may have heard of. I have a passing, knowledge of tennis. Pay attention to the big ones, the Grand Slam tournaments. So this actually took me some digging into, and I think one of the people that struck me as really having a future is Madison Keys. She's currently number 10 in the world.
Yes.
She was as high as number 7 in October. And even though she's been pro for about 9 years now, she's won 2 of the WTA tournaments. She turned pro at 14.
Yeah, she's young.
She's one of the youngest people to ever win a WTA match.
Yes.
But also at the age of 14, she got a victory over Serena Williams.
Yes, she did.
Right. I remember that when that happened. Yeah.
I remember that too.
And obviously any pro athlete, they're going to have their down days, not win. But I mean, that's a really good pedigree. She attended the Chris Evert Tennis Academy in Florida, trained by Lindsay Davenport.
Yep.
That pedigree just tells me that she is definitely someone to watch out for.
Yeah, and she has one of the strongest forehands out there, and it gets her a lot of winners. One of her main strengths is her power. She most recently went to the 4th round against Caroline Wozniacki in the last WTA tennis tournament. So, she is beginning to get battle tested, and like Mark said, she's with Lindsay Davenport, so she's looking to get into that. She's looking to crack that top 5, and everybody will be on the lookout for that. James, who do you have?
Angelique Kerber. She actually is.
Speaking of Germans.
Right, speaking of Germans. So she's German. She's only 29. Angelique Kerber. She was actually number 2. Back and forth with Serena on number 1 throughout the end of last season and then the beginning of this season. So now that Serena is dropping out, she's going to move up to number 1. She won the Australian Open and the U.S. Open last season. She went to the finals in Wimbledon, so where she lost to Serena. So we know she's good on hard court. She's good on the grass. The French Open is with the clay and all. But I think Angelique Kerber may step up. She's 2-6 against Serena.
Oh wow.
But this is against Serena, who beats everybody. And I believe in her last 10 matches, she's 7-10. Serena is 8-2. But she's the best. She's number 1. So Kerber's 7-3. Mm-hmm. She won, like I said, she won the Australian Open, won the U.S. Open last year. She's not having a great season yet. Didn't have a great showing at the Australian Open this year. But let's see if she bounces back for Wimbledon. Like I said, she was a finalist last season, lost to Serena. So Angelique Kerber, that's my choice.
Okay.
Big shoes to fill, though. Huge shoes to fill with this void.
I kind of went back and forth on this one because my 2 favorite women's tennis players are now both on maternity leave. Vika Azarenka, my girl, is also on maternity leave right now. She's also on
maternity leave, yeah.
And her and Serena are kind of tight, so I'm wondering if they plan this craziness. I don't know. But Vika won't be back until July. She's planning to return for Wimbledon, but I mean, even with her coming back kind of in the middle of the season, I think it's going to take her a little bit of time to get back to form because, having a baby, alters you physically. I mean, you got to, shoulder weight and, tennis, you're constantly running, you're constantly moving. And, to go from that, to go to that from being pretty much stationary, is going to be, I think it's going to be a tall task for Vika. But I am also in agreement with Mark on Madison Keys. I think she's our next brightest star in the United States. Like Mark said, at age 14, she was the youngest player ever to win a match on the WTA tour. So, and she's got, like I said, I got a solid forehand. And my other pick would be a young woman from Poland that is currently ranked number 8, and she is, I'm gonna try to my best, Agnieszka Radwanka. Okay.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, right. She, like I said, she's currently number 8 in the WTA. This year she is 9-7. Her record isn't exactly stellar, but it's decent. She most recently went to the finals against Johanna Konta in January at the APIA International in Sydney, Australia. And she also went to the quarterfinals at the Shenzhen Open against Alison Risk. A nice little tidbit about Miss Radwanka. She has recently sparked a little rivalry between her and Maria Sharapova.
Really?
Yeah, so these two ladies have a little beef going on, and I'm pretty sure Serena Williams will appreciate that because, they are not fans of each other at all. Sharapova and Serena's also had, some words on and off the court. But, she basically called out Sharapova for her recent doping incidents.
Right.
And said that, she really doesn't belong in the WTA. So, she had Martina Navratilova as her coach, and she ended that relationship in 2015 and got Thomas Wittorowski as her replacement. And as a result of that, she's actually been doing really well. She has great defense, and she could go as far as she wants if she figures out how to strengthen her serve. I think that's one of her major weaknesses. And when you're in a league with a Serena Williams or a Vika or a Madison Keys, you got to have a strong serve.
Yeah,
those are free, easy points.
And that's one of the things that coming into WTA years ago that Serena and Venus actually changed, and they kind of revolutionized the huge muscular bodies and the power into the women's game, where it was more about finesse and ball placement. Now it's about speed and power, just like the men's game. You have these huge 6-foot women with these muscles now playing tennis.
Yeah. So. If you're a fan of tennis, this season I can almost guarantee that it's going to be exciting to see, how things shape up and who will, rise, the cream that rises to the top out of all of these women that are vying for the number one spot. So, it'll be great. This summer is going to be very exciting. We're all looking forward to that.
Now, as a tennis fan yourself, obviously, Serena's the biggest name in the sport. Do you think her leaving, obviously for medical reasons, I guess is the best way to term it, does that help the sport or does it hurt it? Because it's now not that draw. And I kind of think about when Tiger Woods had to leave golf for a while. Their ratings went down, attendance went down.
Or even now, golf's ratings are pretty much down.
Yeah.
It gets exciting to hear about Tiger Woods, and that's good that you mentioned that because I was gonna mention that as you were saying that. It's tough. I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, but it's going to be interesting to see because you have the queen, the reason why everybody tunes in, Serena, because with these sports, it's not just about the serious fan. I mean, the serious fan, like a person like Kescia, she's going to watch regardless.
Yeah. Right.
You have to give us a reason to tune in, and with her and seeing that greatness and all the hype around her breaking the records and everything like that, I think it may initially lose some viewers, but I think hopefully with these other young ladies that are out and the women that we mentioned, hopefully they'll be able to create enough buzz for the sport outside of Serena. You know what I mean?
I actually think that WTA is going to take a little hit because it's not just about Serena winning the matches and about the record and adding to the record to make herself untouchable. I mean, Serena is just so much fun to watch. I mean, her showmanship is everything for the WTA. I mean, to be honest with you guys, like who else in the WTA gives you that type of show?
The intensity
like
that she brings.
Come on,
like
all of that we all love. The fist pumps, the arguing of points with line
We call
judges.
it when she goes Super Saiyan on people, when she completely transforms her power level.
Who else is going to break rackets for us and be overly dramatic? You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be a huge void there on that part, and some of the players, and I'm pretty sure they probably have a conversation with the players about that.
Right.
To step it up a little bit to keep people interested.
Maybe this is a warm up because I mean she's 35 now.
Mm-hmm. 36.
She's 36 now.
Yes.
Okay. So we can't expect her to play forever, and she's actually the oldest female champion to win. The oldest female to win a championship, to win a major.
Right.
But, maybe this is a warm-up. I mean, eventually we're going to have to see tennis without Serena. We're going to have to see golf without Tiger Woods. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with these young ladies battling it out.
One more quick round, Robin. Do you think Serena can make a real comeback? Because, I mean, like we just said, she is 36. She's going to miss the rest of the 2017 season. It's going to take her some time to get back into her form, her A game for the 2018 season. Do you think, Mark? Do you think she can pull it off?
Absolutely. She, like I said earlier, she's at her peak physical conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the pregnancy goes okay, then I don't see any reason why not. Pregnancy is a weird thing. My wife, when she was pregnant with our son, her body started creating the hormone that relaxes the hips for giving birth, like months in advance, and she actually displaced her hip. Her right foot or her right leg was an inch shorter than the left leg.
Wow.
It displaced so much.
Wow.
And that's something you can't plan on. So as long as Serena doesn't have one of those medical mysteries happen to her, a healthy, normal pregnancy, she'll be back 6 months after.
What about you, James?
I mean, we're talking about Serena Williams. We're talking about one of the greatest, not just female athletes, but we're talking about one of the greatest athletes on our planet. I think it's going to be difficult, but I think if it's possible, I think a person like Serena could pull it off. It happens all the time in the WNBA, other sports. But with a person like Serena, number one, I think she's going to treat it like as an injury, you know what I mean, in her mind, and the fight back. And hopefully, she's staying in shape throughout this pregnancy. Women are told that whatever you do, continue your routines. So hopefully she's still working out, and, she'll be able to bounce back after the pregnancy and come back. I think if it's possible that a person like Serena Williams could pull it off.
I'm going to agree with both of you. And just to add to all of the praise that we just gave her, her work ethic is unparalleled. I mean, no one works harder than Serena Williams, and it shows. And you've got to think back to when, her and Venus, these girls were, 13, 14, 15 years old. I mean, their father had them running in the pool, had them doing exercises that the tennis players were not doing, and in essence, revolutionized the game as far as preparation and as far as training with performance. So, I have a very strong belief that she will come back. I think she's going to have a bit of a challenge. This might be one of her biggest challenges of all time. But if there's anybody out there that's up to the task and that will, blow this thing out of the water, Serena can definitely do it. All right, guys. So let's make a little transition here. Let's get into some NBA. NBA playoff action.
You want to talk about some injuries first? Get into some injuries first,
okay,
and then we can.
Well, before we get into that, you guys want to give some updates or something on the games? Mark, you got updates for me?
Not yet. You got it, James?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So we have right now.
Got a couple games tonight.
The Bucks and Raptors are playing. The Wizards Hawks game just started at 8. Bucks Raptors are still up 70-55 in the third quarter. 70-55. So the Wizards are beating the Hawks right now. End of the first quarter, 35-28. So they're in Atlanta,
right?
And they're up 2-1. So hopefully they can get this W in Atlanta. Tough W.
Just to back things up really quickly, the Bucks and Raptors. This is Game 5, and the series is actually tied 2-2.
Right.
I said this last week. I honestly think this is one of the best matchups of the first round. I mean, it's just been really exciting. And the Wizards, I believe this is Game 4.
This is Game 4. They're up 2-1.
Right. So if the Wizards can, pull this win out tonight, they go home for the next game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they could wrap that series up at home, and I'm pretty sure the fans would love to see that. I do believe that we have a late game as well.
Warriors Blazers at 10:30 tonight.
Okay, and the Blazers, they have their backs against the wall. I believe that series is 3-0.
Yep.
And there's a couple of couple of tidbits to talk about that we're going to get to a little bit later about that series. But let's just talk about the Wizards and the Hawks for a minute, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
This series is really starting to shape up and get exciting and a little bit aggressive, physically aggressive.
Yeah, we have a couple of hardcore rivalries going on here.
Yes.
We have John Wall and
Versus Dennis Schroeder,
and then we also have Millsap and Morris.
Markieff Morris. Yeah.
And these guys actually going at it in the media.
Right. So Markieff Morris called Paul Millsap
A crybaby.
crybaby over, Paul Millsap made some reference to the series being like an MMA fight or something like that, like not calling it basketball. Markieff Morris had a little clap back on that. John Wall and Dennis Schroeder had been playing each other like animals.
Yeah, it's been very exciting to see them
very
play.
Physical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've been going at it.
But John Wall has really got behind the driver's seat and has just been doing really awesome in this first round. The last game he had 29 points by himself. They lost this last game, by the way. But the rest of the starters only had 30 points. And I think that was pretty much the key factor in them dropping Game 3 in Atlanta. I mean, John Wall's field goal percentage was 83%. The rest of the team was like 31%. The rest of the starters, averaged a 31% field goal percentage. So
it took a bad game for them to lose.
Right.
So
I mean, clearly he can't do it on his own, and it's going to have to be a team effort. But the Wizards really, they put together a really nice team, man. I mean, with the additions of Bogdanovich and Brandon Jennings, it really rounded out everything with Marcin Gortat and my boy Otto Porter. So, I mean, they have a nice squad that I really think that can go all the way to the Eastern Conference Championship.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, like, this was one of the series I was least looking forward to. Mm-hmm. Not because, any reason, like, I don't, like, hate the Hawks or anything.
I hate the Hawks.
Being overshadowed, probably.
Look, here we go.
Overshadowed.
In terms of being overshadowed.
Honestly, I don't think the Hawks no team's got as much press as the Warriors or the Cavaliers this year. But it seemed like the Hawks were almost invisible. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they were there. They obviously got into the playoffs, but they didn't have that media as much as the other teams. So I was kind of like, are we gonna see a sweep?
Right.
But like you said, it's been a physical series.
It's been very exciting.
Which, as a fan, is fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not really an Atlanta Hawks fan myself. They're just one of those teams that play dry basketball.
I think we've gotten jaded by their history.
Yeah.
They're a perennial playoff team, but then they're also perennially out of the first, second round every single season.
But even still though, but like I said, I mean the games tend to be a little dry. They were kind of like a defensive team for a minute, and they still kind of
They've
are.
had some exciting players through the years, but it was like, why can't they just get over the hump,
Yeah, but with Dennis Schroeder, the offense has kind of picked up a little bit, and they thought they were doing something by bringing Dwight Howard to the team.
Nothing.
But I mean, I think they're slowly starting to realize that was not a good decision because, I mean, honestly, other than Game 3, he's been a pretty non-existent in this series, and I really think they need him. They need production from him to be able to get out of this first round.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts on that? We'll move to the next matchup.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's talk about the.
Update on the Bucks Raptors.
Okay, sure. Go for it.
Give me a second here.
It's 63.
63-74 now. Third quarter.
And what about the Wizards?
Started the second quarter now. They're still up 5, 38-33.
Okay. And since Mark, you were talking about a series that you weren't really looking forward to. This series, the Spurs, San Antonio Spurs, and the Memphis Grizzlies, has turned out to be something very exciting. This was a series that I wasn't looking forward to.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, this is going to be a snooze. San Antonio is going to just walk away with this thing, maybe drop one game. But the Grizzlies have found a way. All the pieces have stepped up, and they have found a way to tie up this series 2-2.
2-2. Yeah.
2-2. The last game. Last week, if you were with us, we were talking about the production of Marc Gasol's supporting cast. Zach Randolph not doing enough. Mike Conley, the highest paid guard in the NBA, not doing enough. And honestly, I don't know if they were watching the show or what, but
they stepped up.
They stepped the game up.
It was an overtime game.
Stepped the game up.
108-110, I believe, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a really close game, and like you said, Mike Conley stepped up, and he's earning that $150 million contract, man.
Right.
35 points.
9 rebounds and 8 assists. That's almost a triple-double. So, he definitely earned his check during that game. But listen, you guys, we'll be right back. We're going to take a moment, step away. Y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to, talk more NBA. We're going to have some wrestling, some MMA talk, and we're also going to get into some NHL playoff talk as well. So don't go nowhere, yo.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. I learned that everybody loves your work until they gotta pay for it. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
The pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids, and when you got a wife, and then you doing everything, and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live United. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the
if
shirt,
someone
I
says
live
that
it.
more money
may create more problems for us who don't have a lot of money. We said, nah, that'll never be me. And when we look at the statement that's made by those who are making over six figures, millionaires, I dare say billionaires, we wonder, how is it that more money can cause more problems? Well, I can kind of understand how that may be the situation if the money that you have is not going towards things that are of a worthy cause. And that looks how you perceive it to be. If you feel like money should make you free, but after making more money, it traps you towards these things.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right. Welcome back, and thank you for sticking around. This is Just a Bit Outside Sports Radio Show. Again, I'm your host, Kescia, and my co-host, James, and the man with the master plan, Mark. Got him in the building. When we left off, we were talking NBA playoff action, and we were discussing the emergence of an interesting series with the San Antonio Spurs and the Memphis Grizzlies. As I mentioned before, this series is tied up 2-2. The Spurs took the first two games
handily.
Yeah. And just when we were getting ready to count the Memphis Grizzlies out, I mean, they came back with a vengeance and totally took the next two games.
2 straight games, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Game 4 was really exciting. It went into overtime, and as I mentioned earlier, that supporting cast for Marc Gasol really came through. I believe, James, you said Mike Conley had how many points?
35 points.
Okay.
35 points. So we challenged Mike Conley. Zach Randolph had a solid game, 12 points, but Zach Randolph really came through in Game 3 of that series. But it's like they woke up. Marc Gasol has had a double-double with 12 rebounds.
Yeah, and Marc Gasol also, he sunk the game winner for Game 4.
Right.
Off of LaMarcus Aldridge with like 0.7 seconds left.
0.7.
So that was really great, really great.
It was a beautiful shot too. Like
Yeah.
he came up around the free throw line and kind of pivoted in and just finger rolled it in. It was amazing.
Beautiful.
I would say that for me was the game of the playoffs so far.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's really crazy that Memphis even won this game because they had 22 turnovers.
Yeah, they had a lot
team,
of turnovers,
which is like, that's really high.
And against the Spurs.
Yeah.
Hey, Kawhi Leonard was playing his, just an amazing game in himself.
Yeah, he had 43 points, 8 rebounds. And he's actually scored the final 16 points for the Spurs in regulation. And, somehow, because normally when you score that many turnovers, you do not win a game. But, they stepped up their offense, which I think really was the key to them. Taking control of this series again. Just to give you a little picture, games 1 and 2, they only scored 82 points. Yep. Both games it was 82 points. Okay, now these last two games 3 and 4, they averaged 107 and a half. So you're talking about a 25-point differential between the first two and the last two games. And I really think that was the deciding factor of them getting control of this series again.
Now those two games of course were at home too, so when they go back to San Antonio, how do you think that'll affect them?
True that.
I don't know, the bench players always play better at home, so.
Yeah, and let's also talk about the bench. The Grizzlies bench outscored San Antonio's bench 27-17 that last game. So, to kind of back up your point there with some stats and whatnot. And
they're going to definitely need their core to have big
Memphis?
games. Yeah, Memphis.
Just
Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, Mike Conley.
Carry that momentum that they built up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to definitely take monster games from them, especially in San Antonio. This is what is it a 2-7 matchup? This is a 2-7 matchup.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep, because Golden State was
the one.
Right. And Tony Parker in Game 4 showed flashes of his old self. He had 22 points. This is probably going to piss a lot of people off, but I think we might be at the end of the line for Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, 0 points.
Let me take that a step. Let me take that a step further. He has yet to score a point in this series.
Wow.
Yeah, and if
That's
you
tough.
think, right, shots fired. That's what
tough.
we do.
That's tough because a guy like Manu Ginobili, he was an exciting player throughout his career, man.
Yeah, and the hairline is starting to recede.
It's gone.
We
have a caller.
Okay.
Do we have a caller? Hello.
Hey, why did the Spurs release Boban and Matt Boner? Why did the Spurs release Boban? Why did the Spurs release Boban? No, it should have been starting.
Are you a Spurs fan? Did we hang up on him?
Yeah.
Okay, well, someone is obviously upset about, did you say Bonner?
Keisha.
Huh.
Those were prank call names.
Oh,
you didn't hear what he was saying.
Okay, all right. Well, whoever did that, okay, you got me.
Wah, wah. You almost took that seriously.
Right,
who did they release?
Right, I'm like, who are they talking about? But all right, anyway, jackass.
He said they released.
We're gonna take a break because that asshole messed up the flow. And when we come back, we're gonna talk more NBA with you guys. All right, so look, only serious inquiries only. Okay.
Assholes can't mess up our show.
All right, you'll never mess up the flow. All right, y'all don't leave. Don't come back.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Just a Bit Outside with BeExposedRadio.com. We were getting into our NBA discussion, NBA playoff discussion. We still have some updates really quick. I'm going to give you guys, let's see, we have the Wizards and Hawks. The Hawks actually just took the lead, 49-43, and 3 minutes left in the second quarter. The Raptors are blowing this out, 17-point lead over the Bucks, 90-73 at the end of the third quarter. So Raptors are trying to do something, man.
Yeah, speaking of the Raptors and the Bucks, you know, this is like one of the most exciting series of the first round. Me personally, this series has been evened up at 2-2. It looks like Toronto got back to their defensive form in Game 4. They forced the Milwaukee Bucks to 21 turnovers, and you know, like I said, you know, earlier in the segment, that you know, when you have that many turnovers, you normally lose the game.
Yeah.
You know, and they also held the Bucks to a team shooting field goal percentage of 31% in the second half. So that means, I mean, they really, you know, locked down on the second half of the game. And it seems like they're following the same trend in Game 5 because our first break, I believe they were only down by like 7 points. And now the Bucks are down by 17. Excuse me, 17. Yeah. So it seems like they're continuing that trend of stepping up the defense in the second half. Also, there was a lineup change made by the head coach. Norman Powell started in place of Jonas Valanciunas.
Okay.
And it was actually a game time decision in Game 4. I'm not sure if he's starting tonight, but it really helped out the Raptors by adding some offensive quickness to the game to keep up with those young Bucks and their
young Bucks,
intended.
Young Bucks running up and down the court. So you know, a lot of decisions were made and adjustments to even this series up.
Definitely some stallions on that team. Yeah, you want to see the Bucks do well. They didn't have a great game last game. Look to not really be having a good game tonight. So Giannis and company, they've got to step it up.
Yeah, Game 4, Giannis was held to just 14 points, and I mean, if you've watched this kid play, I mean, he's just amazing. I honestly think he is the next big thing. I mean, you have a big guy who can handle the ball. I mean, I saw this in Game 4. I watched this dude get a rebound, take it coast to
Full
coast,
court,
spin move, and dunk on a dude. I mean, like for someone that tall to be able to handle the ball that well, I mean, you're everything.
Right.
Know, to be honest with you.
Right now he's at 22 points. 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Wow, in a losing effort. It's like, yeah, that's tough.
And tonight, the turnovers are pretty much even, 13-13.
Okay.
But the Raptors are out rebounding them right now, so that looks to be the big difference. In the game.
And offensively, the Raptors are playing a very balanced game. Serge Ibaka is actually their leading scorer tonight with 16. I told you guys about Serge Ibaka, man.
Wow.
It was going to be a good addition for them. Traditionally, he's been a great defensive player, but he's been working out, man. I believe he's been working out with Olajuwon on his moves, so he's trying to develop a post game. It seems like they're really trying to go at him inside. 16 points, DeRozan and Lowry right now have 13 and 12 respectively. So a good balance. I like to see a game like this with the big guy Serge Ibaka being the focal point. This has become a very guard-dominated league, I believe, this year.
Mm-hmm.
Even the big men, everybody wants to shoot three-pointers. Everybody wants to pull out and clear the lane and shoot jumpers. So it's good to see in the playoffs somebody playing some traditional basketball.
And it's not the days when Shaq would just stand under the basket and stand up and put it in.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Not. Hey, quick shout out to Kenya McIntyre and Marsha Mosley for watching the show tonight.
Hi, Mom.
That's your
Marsha.
mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. What's up, Mom?
Hey,
Mom
Mark's
Dukes?
mom.
All the way in
supporting us.
Arizona, so we are coast to coast.
All right.
Nice.
We're on the West Coast. That's
Nice.
what's up.
Well, our parents are in Hawaii, so
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully
we're
they're
coast to
Oahu, aloha.
right,
Coast to beyond coast.
right, coast
Yeah.
to beyond coast, right, out there in the Pacific Ocean,
Let's-
somewhere.
Can we bring it back to that guard talk though?
Yeah.
Now, okay, say Toronto comes out of the second round. And we're all hoping that the Wizards come out in the second round. Don't they match up for the second round? Do they match up? I believe so.
I think so.
And if that is the case, okay, we got two really strong backcourts on both teams.
The Wizards play the winner of Boston, Chicago next.
Okay.
Yeah, Cleveland plays the winner of Toronto, Milwaukee.
Even still, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Who do you think has the better backcourt? Toronto with
DeRozan and Lowry.
Right, or the Wizards with Wall and Beal.
And we've actually kind of touched on this in a few other shows, but yeah, America, tell us what you think. We're some hometown fans here. Keisha believes they're the top backcourt in the league.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it.
I think it's a good argument.
Yeah, there's hard to argue against it. I mean, yeah, Bill on his own. You know, there's just no way to come up with another duo that could definitely surpass them.
And on the East Coast, and even close to being in the league. I mean, we still have the Splash Brothers out west.
I'm saying the league, the whole entire league.
I think they are a good complement to each other. We have Wall with his speed and his quickness, slashing through, cutting through, and Bill. His game reminds me a lot of Jesus Shuttlesworth. A lot of like Ray Allen. He's got that jumper, that beautiful jumper.
Mm-hmm.
He can drive to the basket on will and dunk on you when he wants to. This year, Wall is having such a good year. Like we've said it before, but I put him up there in the running, the MVP running. Maybe number 5. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Maybe even above that. I guess we'll see what happens with the Wizards. You know, as we go on in the playoffs. But I think they're the top team that could challenge Cleveland in the East Coast.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But and speaking of getting to conference finals, there's been a lot of things that have happened over the past week that could really alter the outcome for some of these teams trying to make it to the finals.
Yeah.
Rajon Rondo with the Chicago Bulls out indefinitely with a broken thumb. Huge void.
Yeah.
Because he was controlling. Yeah. I mean, he was the reason why they won those first 2 games, you know. And now, and it was crazy. Those games were in Boston. Yeah. This series between Boston and Chicago was kind of reverse. Chicago won in Boston, and then Boston won their 2 games in Chicago. And that happened right when Rajon Rondo went out. I mean, clearly he was the reason why Chicago was winning those first 2 games. He's out now. So
he wasn't the biggest guy in stats for those 2 games either, but he was definitely
if you
like
actually
the heart of
watched,
the team.
Yeah. If you watched, and it was crazy because this is a number 1 versus number 8. They weren't even supposed to win, and they won those first 2 games. But now it's bad, man. Bad news. Rondo's out.
Rondo, even though he's out, he did try to participate in the last game.
I was just about to say, I mean, even though he's not playing, he's still contributing off the court.
Right.
By tripping people.
Tripping people on the side of the court. So
$25,000.
It's a little crazy. Yeah. It was a little crazy there.
Yeah, that trip cost him about $25,000.
25 stacks.
That was an expensive contribution to the squad. But to kind of touch on what you guys were saying, I mean, stat-wise, it might not smack you in the face as far as his personal production, but as far as his effect on the team. Not only do they lose the veteran leadership, their offensive efficiency decreases by 9 points without Rondo on the court. So now you're already scoring damn near 10 less points than you normally do.
Right.
And you're also deficiently inefficient as well. Without him on the court, the opposite team scores 11 more points than they usually do.
So they're minus 11.
So, if you pay attention to that, and like I said, along with the veteran leadership, Chicago's got their work cut out for them. And, I mean, you can almost say that it's a wrap. Dare I say it? Is it a wrap?
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I pegged this as the series I wanted to see most in the opening round. Mm-hmm. And it has been exciting.
Right. It threw us off with Chicago getting those 2 wins in Boston.
Right.
And but with Rondo out, and if the Celtics can keep the momentum that they have, they're gonna wrap it up. And like you said, with Rondo out, the Bulls just aren't what they were.
Right. And they have Jerry and Grant to replace Rondo as starter, and he's only in his second year.
Yeah.
I mean, second year player.
Tough shoes to fill.
Right. First time in the playoffs.
Against the number 1 team.
Against the number 1 seed. I mean, yes, you do have Michael Carter-Williams coming off the bench for him, but I honestly do not think that's enough to fill the Rondo void.
Yeah. And they have the veteran, Father Prime, Dwayne Wade. Hey, that's what he's calling himself.
Father Prime?
Father Prime.
That's like self-imposed
right
nickname out there? Okay.
Father Time and Optimus Prime merged.
Right.
Word.
Hey, he has figured a way to stay in his I don't know, what is he going to Kobe's doctors in Germany or something? What is he doing? But he's been injured a couple of times lately, and he comes back.
Dog, what are you shooting your knees up with?
That last injury in the season, I didn't think he was even going to come back for the playoffs.
Yeah, right. It was their season's done.
I didn't even know until they were actually playing game 1, and they said he was on the court. I was like, what the hell?
Father Prime.
Wow.
Father Prime was out there with his towel wrapped around his neck, out there shooting his jumpers in the warm-up, man.
All right, well, let's talk about another huge injury. I think that could also, ultimately,
and this one actually kind of hurts my heart.
Blake Griffin out for the rest of the season with an injury to his big toe.
His big
with
toe,
the Los Angeles Clippers.
And that actually points to a lot of different things wrapped up in this one case here. We have Blake Griffin with a Clippers team that has just been disappointing at the end of every season. I like the Clippers, the way that they're put together. And the beginning of the season, they were the hottest team in the league.
Yeah.
So they end up getting the number 4 seed, and it's against Utah, and it's okay, bam, Blake is hurt. Damn, Blake and Chris Paul were hurt. They got hurt in the game 1 of the playoffs last season.
Yeah, he had a quad injury in the playoffs last year.
They limped into the playoffs They still got in
with the Blazers.
They still got in. They still got into the playoffs last season with Blake playing half the games. He was injured a good portion of the season. A lot of people are saying if they don't make it to the conference finals this year, there are going to be big changes to make. We kind of touched on that last show. But Blake Griffin is out. Game 3, when he went out, Chris Paul scored 24 points in the second half, and I think kind of gave us fool's gold, because even I was walking around, they don't need Blake.
Yeah.
But this last game, that void showed, man.
Hey, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more about Lob City, and we'll also get into Golden State, and they got some problems too.
Yeah.
So don't go nowhere, y'all.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. That's safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet, fingerling, Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, good people? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger. Make sure you check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Couple minutes left in the segment. Sure. Change is good.
Yes.
Knowing when to make that change in your life. And I think it's important that you know a strategy. You know where you need to go. But change is good. Everything.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, Just a Bit Outside on BeExposedRadio.com. We thank you for visiting us every Monday night, following along on Facebook and on YouTube. If you want to join the show, of course, give us a call, 410-706-5657. We were talking NBA before we left, and a little update on the scores. Hawks and Wizards are at halftime, 59-50. Hawks are up.
Wow.
Yeah, so they definitely made a little comeback there and have a dominant lead. Raptors and Bucks, that's 103-85 with about 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, Bucks look to be running out of time here.
Running out of steam for the rest of the playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't know. You said running out of steam for the rest
of the playoffs, yeah.
The Bucks, I don't know, man.
I mean, it's tied up 2-2.
Yeah, tied up 2-2. Game 5 is always a very important game. A young team like this, I don't know. I just hope that they can be resilient and bounce back. It's tough though. They're playing the Raptors. The Raptors been there, done that.
Right.
And then they even added more firepower. But I don't know. I don't think a loss would take the wind out of their sails. They're young. I think they bounce back. But Yeah, Game 5 is big.
And let's not, not talk about Jason Kidd, someone who has very extensive playoff experience and is battle tested, and will be able to talk to and relate to these young bucks on that kind of level.
Jason Kidd that a lot of people second guessed
Yeah.
when he asked to be the GM in Brooklyn, and they denied him that. He left and went to Milwaukee, and everybody was like, Milwaukee? Why would he want to go there? And look at this team that he's put together. Giannis Antetokounmpo is shaping up to be one of the superstars of the future.
Greg Monroe. Dog. Welcome back, dog. Like,
Right. Yeah. And you know, when he's healthy, Jabari Parker. But yeah, this is a good young team. You know, and they're just like, you know, everybody, you have to take your lumps. You've got to get your experience. You know, they're cutting their teeth. They're getting their experience here against a very good Raptors team.
And as long as, you know, when contracts come up, they can keep this core together, then in the next 5 years, they're definitely going to be further along in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. That's like one of the teams that we have on like red alert for greatness.
Right.
You know, shout out to Sound Production, shout out to Zernan for sharing the show. We appreciate you. Shout out to Woody, we see you. You're one of our biggest supporters, dog. Thank you. But let's get back into some more NBA talk. Let's talk about some more matchups. We also have another injury, 2 injuries of 2 different magnitudes with the Golden State Warriors. We had Kevin Durant out for a couple of days, and Kevin Durant, that was a shin injury, I believe. It was a shin injury, and the coach for the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr,
had back injury,
is out indefinitely.
And let me tell you,
he's had back injuries. Back issues for a while.
Like Blake Griffin hurt your heart. This hurts my heart because, I mean, I remember being like 12 or 13, growing up in Tucson, Arizona, and seeing Steve Kerr and Sean Elliott take the Wildcats to the Final Four.
Nice.
I've known people that have interacted with Steve Kerr, and just he had that period of time last season when he went out, and Luke Walton had to step up as coach.
Yeah.
And to see him go through this again, and he's being pretty blunt and saying, you know, he doesn't want to take away from the team, and if it means stepping away from the team for good, that's what he's willing to do. And I mean, the guy came in. There was some controversy when he took over
from Mark Jackson.
Yeah, Mark Jackson.
Right.
And it's interesting now that during the offseason they hired Mike Brown as the assistant coach. Of course, he coached at the Cavaliers, and LeBron kind of forced him out there.
Yeah.
But he has the playoff experience.
He was also forced out of the Lakers. He is not one of my favorite NBA people.
Yeah, we don't really love Mike Brown, but the Warriors, they're a very autonomous team.
Yeah. Obviously, they have the league MVP the last couple years.
Right.
They have a great core.
Yeah.
Last year, of course, that record-setting season, most wins in a season.
With the head coach out half of the season.
Yeah.
Right.
They have their style of play. You know, they have their system that's implemented that they follow, and they do a damn good job. I mean, we watched the first game that Steve Kerr was out, and I mean, they played ball. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that was also against, you know, that's another 1-8 matchup.
Right.
And, you know, I think let's not take for granted.
But don't sleep on Portland, though.
Right. No. I was going to say, let's not take for granted the job that Luke Walton did for Steve Kerr last season. I mean, this is a totally different situation now. Mike Brown has only been with the team for, I believe, a year.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Luke Walton had been with that team 3-4 years, and his assistant coach was a quote unquote players coach. They trusted him. They believed in his systems, his way of doing things. I don't think you have that same trust and belief with Mike Brown. You know, and Steve Kerr.
Well, I think it's more just game time decisions. I think, like I was saying, they have their system. You know, I think the practice is going to be Steve Kerr's practice. I think the play is going to be Steve Kerr's plays. I think it's just going to be game time decisions.
Not that, but what I was trying to get to is Steve Kerr is the voice of that team. You know what I'm saying? You may not need that voice right now in the first round against that number 8 seed, but when you take on that next opponent, whoever that may be, you know, there's going to be some more coaching involved. Are you going to be able to handle Draymond Green? Are you going to be able to direct these? You know,
right.
Are you going to be able to do this? You know,
Yeah,
are they going to listen to you?
You see him get really fired up on the sidelines. Mike Brown doesn't seem to be that type of person.
Right. So, I mean, I think they're going to have a little bit of a challenge in the second round if Steve Kerr continues to be out. Mark, I believe you said that Kevin Durant will be coming back tonight?
Yeah, ESPN broke a little while ago. Kevin Durant's returning from that injury tonight, Game 4 against Portland. So it's interesting. Golden State's actually done better without Durant in the lineup. So now that they're in the playoffs, I kind of want to see how they attack this game. I mean, there's no denying Durant's a great player, but when the team is record is better when the guy is gone, I kind of hope that he stays out.
Yeah. Well, me personally, I think Golden State is not a lock without Durant. You know what I mean? I feel like this first round is a separate situation outside of the playoff picture as a whole. In that second round, you're gonna need some more defense. You know what I'm saying? And that defensive presence is part of what Durant brings to the table.
Yeah, he's actually a top defender.
Exactly. So, y'all, don't go nowhere. We about to take a quick break, pay some bills. When we come back, we'll talk some more about Golden State, and we'll also get into some other another incident in the NBA that involved Patrick Beverley and a fan. And we'll talk about, where is the NBA going to draw the line with this fan interaction during games. So don't go nowhere. We still got plenty of interesting stuff to go over. All right. Peace.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous.
You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. We are at the final stretch. I mean, I feel like every week it comes so quickly. Like, I can't believe we're in the final little segment of the show.
Every time it's like, how are we going to fill 2 hours? And then we get here and we're like, shit, we're running out of time.
We still have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
And we love chopping it up with y'all, man. We love it. When we left off, we were talking about the impact of the impact of Kevin Durant and Steve Kerr missing from the first round, and we were talking about Kevin Durant specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying that where he may not be a factor in his first round, they will need his defensive presence in the second round, and the remainder of the playoffs.
Right, because it's going to be they're going to play the winner of the Clippers Utah series. So Golden State, they own the Clippers, man.
Yeah.
They just, and it was like that was their kryptonite. They were like on a 10-game winning streak, I think, in the beginning of the season. They played Golden State, and then everything just went to shit for the Clippers.
Right.
But okay, so yeah, Golden State, Portland. They're up 3-0. They play tonight at 10:30.
Yeah, and as Mark mentioned earlier, Durant is scheduled to play tonight. He said he's going to play.
Durant is playing tonight.
So it'll be interesting to see how they react, because they haven't been with them for a couple of games, and that was one of the concerns. Like, it's been like almost a week. We need to get him back in there.
Yeah.
So he won't
get too cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how the team responds. It'll be interesting to see what Mike Brown does. I made a joke with the fellas before. I was like, Mike Brown probably has Steve Kerr on text messages and, on breaks, just texting like, dude,
right.
What the hell do I do next?
Right.
We should probably look for a Bluetooth in his ear next
Right.
time.
No doubt. All right, so we do have two matchups that we need to talk about. Of course, we have the drama-filled Houston and OKC matchup. Houston is currently up 3-1 over Oklahoma City, and
well, we have Cleveland, Indiana. I guess we can go over really fast. That series is over.
All right, you want to do that? Let's sum that up really fast, Mark. Cleveland and Indiana.
Pacers are out. Paul George is out too.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Paul George might be leaving. No, we're just trying to start some stuff here.
That's what we do.
Paul George to the Clippers.
Nah,
No, Paul George to the Thunder. Paul George to the Thunder. Let's make it happen.
Russ
Paul
needs
George
help.
to the Thunder.
Clearly, Russ needs help.
Yeah, and that's they could really use a small forward like that.
Yeah,
you know?
that would complete, to me, that's like the missing piece.
Yeah.
That's the missing piece.
And he did have a triple-double the other night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
in a losing effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
Right. So yeah,
they can relate on that level.
Segue into Houston, Oklahoma.
Right. So like I was saying, Houston is up 3-1 over Oklahoma City. Again, Russell Westbrook's supporting cast is coming to question. There's been a lot of shots fired about that. But, what I really don't understand is, I never really listen to public opinion anyway because it's filled with non-intelligent stuff. But, on the one foot, you sit up here and say, oh, Russell Westbrook down the stretch, he needs to trust his teammates more. He needs to stop shooting so much. And now, with this last game, you sitting up here, questioning supporting cast members like Steven Adams. What the hell is going on with y'all when Russell Westbrook is out of the game? So, I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's more so the supporting cast problem than a Russell Westbrook problem. What do you guys think?
35 points, 14 rebounds, 14 assists in a losing effort. It's tough, man. It's tough to see something like this happen they lost the first 2 games, and he kind of was hearing people saying, trust your teammates, trust the teammates. So it seemed like he was coming out and trying to give it to his teammates and defer to them more. And they just aren't that good of a team. At one point of the game, Andre Robertson was the second leading scorer, and it was like, if that guy is your second leading scorer behind Russell Westbrook, he's not even an offensive player. Steven Adams ended up chipping in 18, but honestly, I'd like to see more from Steven Adams during the game. Maybe them posting him up more instead of him just having to get his points through second chance efforts.
So you're saying having some maybe more plays designed
for
specifically
Steven Adams? Yeah.
Okay.
They had it seemed like last season, when they had Durant, they were going down low to Steven Adams, and he really proved himself. His stock rose a lot last season, and it kind of went down this season. And it's crazy because with Westbrook getting all these triple-doubles, you would think that he would be a huge part of it, and he is, but I don't think that he's had the season that he had last season.
I don't buy the argument that his supporting cast isn't good. In that last game, Houston had double the turnovers, so obviously, their defense is working. Mm-hmm. They were up on rebounds. They were tied in assists, I think. So there was production there, except for that fourth quarter for Westbrook. 4 of 18. Stop shooting the damn ball if you can't put it in.
And then
more shots fired. I don't know.
The way that game ended, it was rough. Man, watching that.
That's what we do.
So they were up. They were down 5. Down 5, time's running out. Steven Adams at the line. He turns to Russ Westbrook and says, I'm going to make the first one, miss the second one. You make a 3. I mean, they had this plan, and everything went according to plan. He made the first one. They went for a 4-point play. He made the first one, missed the second one on purpose. The ball came right back to him, tossed it to Westbrook, about a step in from half court. Boom. Hits the 3-pointer. They're down 1. Okay, Houston gets the ball, and it's like foul. They're dribbling around. Foul them, just foul them. Let's play dribbling and passing it. They get the ball all the way down court to Nene, and then the guy fouls him as he's going up for the shot. And it's, what are you doing? Yeah, and it was the and one. Yeah. So they were down 5, ended up being down 1, and it ended up being down 4 again.
Yeah, they totally didn't execute.
Yeah.
On that last possession. I mean, honestly, to me, nothing burns me up more than when a team is in that must foul situation, and you
And
let
they
them dribble and
just let them
pass the
dribble it
ball
out.
all over the place. I just don't understand that. You're old enough, and you've been in this game long enough to know that should just be automatic.
Right.
High school kids know.
Right.
Commit to foul.
Right. You want to teach. I mean, you want to teach clinic level kids that kind of tactic. You know, at the end of the game, how to play the foul shot game.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was rough. That was really rough to see, especially a bunch of pros.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we're talking about this OKC Houston series, we had a fan incident. Game 3, which was on Friday. An incident. It was in Oklahoma City between Houston's guard Patrick Beverly and a fan of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Kind of a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was the son of one of the minority owners.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I did not realize that.
That's probably why he didn't receive any disciplinary action for
That
his
gives
part
you
of it.
a few extra layers there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently there was some kind of exchange between this gentleman and Beverly during the game in the first half, where he landed at the feet of this guy, and they had some type of exchange. Of course, it was game time, so it was very quick. But after the game, Patrick Beverly took it upon himself to approach.
He approached him, yeah.
The fan.
So you have an athlete approaching a fan at the end of the game. Maybe he knew who the guy was. Maybe that's the reason why he approached him. But
Say, my son of a minority owner, I'm pretty sure he knew who the guy was.
yeah, but that's I don't know. That's crazy. It's kind of reminiscent of the Malice in the Palace.
Yeah.
When we had the fight.
Meta World Peace.
Yeah, Ron Artest, Meta World
Steven
Peace.
Jackson.
And the fight in the audience. That's crazy. And basketball is a different type of game with different sort of rules, because they put NBA, they put the fans right there. In football, when you go to an NFL game, you sit, kind of far back. You got to scream and yell for them to hear you.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, in basketball, it's more intimate. They are right there.
Yeah. I mean, hockey, you got the screen in front.
Yeah.
Baseball, you're
right.
Good 25 feet away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, due to the intimacy of the venue setup, I mean, fan interaction is almost definite, like every game. I mean, and this is something, probably part of the reason why they're paid so well.
Right.
They have to deal with this game in and game out.
Right.
I mean, and then there is no filter on some of the things that are said.
Some of the stuff that we've heard
they will
at
attack
games
you
is
personally. They will attack your children. They will attack your families. They will attack personal off the court.
Right.
And a lot of people say that this is all part of the
you're an athlete. You're
home
a
court
professional.
advantage, but and that you're a professional athlete and you should be able to endure that. But I mean, honestly, with incidences like this, I mean, it's going to keep happening until the NBA draws the line somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and where do they draw the line?
I mean, we got to realize that these athletes are people, and you can only take but so much of this crap.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you made mention of the Malice at the Palace. That whole thing started really. The catalyst for it to get out of control was when a fan threw a cup of beer onto the player.
Yep. Right.
Okay? Yeah, exactly. Right. So, I mean, what would you do if someone...
Hey, that's what he said. You got the right one now. He ran right into that crowd.
Exactly.
After that
What
guy.
would you
He
do?
ended up beating up the guy next to him.
The wrong guy.
Right.
Right. And so, case in point, he went after the wrong guy, and the rest is history, literally. So, I think that's something that needs to be discussed in the off season. You got to figure out a way to draw the line somewhere. You have to protect your
these
players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, I mean, fans are getting bolder and bolder every season, and you really don't want to have another incident that went down in Detroit. I mean, you just would. It's just bad for the sport. It's bad for your brand. You don't want to be known for that type of thing. So, that's something that I think that they need to discuss in the off season. Where to draw the line, how to, fine, penalize, punish, whatever word you want to use to some of these unruly fans. It definitely needs to be done.
Do you think they go as far as creating a barrier of some sort, putting them like even a half wall, just set them behind.
I mean, I don't think a barrier will ever be put in place. But if you start telling folks that you are no longer taking this BS, you know what I mean? Like, yo, lifetime bans. I mean, yo, you escorted Charles Oakley, a Knicks legend, somebody who was part of your organization. You know what I'm saying? Escorted him out, tried to put a little ban on him, but you letting the fans do whatever they want to do. To me, that just doesn't make sense. That, you know, hold your fans accountable as well. And trust me, they will, because nobody wants to be banned for life from a team they love.
There should be a certain level of etiquette that's understood. You know what I mean? And we get really wrapped up into our professional teams, and a lot of that stuff goes out of the window. Personally, you know, when those Pittsburgh Steelers come to town, and I see people with their black and yellow, you know, I jump into fan mode and I give it to them. But it's difficult, especially against these professional players, and they hear it every night. It's tough. It's tough for people to deal with, you know. But it's weird to see what the NBA would do with something like that, because it would be difficult to police everybody, you know. And then you have the players who clearly will probably want to see certain fans leave. They will probably make you know, complaints. But I don't know. I could see where that could get cloudy.
Well, people always say, you know, oh, I paid my ticket. That doesn't give you a
that
right
don't
to be an
entitle
asshole.
you to do whatever the hell you want to do once you get in the building.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, there should be a certain level of etiquette that should be understood.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, look, we're going to take one more quick break before we do our final small segment. So don't go nowhere, man. We appreciate y'all. Stay with us.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
I come from the school of you keep going.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Not so much.
She said, I'm out.
How about y'all sing it for me? Literally, that's what she said. She said, listen, I'm going to let y'all go ahead and do this. I'm going to cash the check. But y'all can go ahead and work.
Because y'all can't say I didn't show up. I was here.
On stage.
She said, I'm just going to let the audience sing. And I said, oh my gosh. And her poor backup dancers are trying to lead her. They trying to pick her. The shout out to the backup dancers. Shout out because they carried that show because they kept going. See, they did it. They did what you were supposed to do. But this lady just gave up. And I laughed like I have never laughed before. And I didn't see it on New Year's.
I just saw it like yesterday.
Oh, well, see, it is fresh for you, so you can, in your mind. And when she stood beside that champagne bottle and just looked out over the crowd, I said, oh, somebody throw her a lifeline or something. Is somebody backstage that can come out and share this moment with her?
They just let it happen. They were probably making bets, like how long is she going to stand out there looking stupid? Stop.
I can't imagine the producers of the show, just everybody backstage, like, what the hell? So yes, as an artist, I definitely come from the school of you just keep going. And Mariah, you gave up in your shiny bodysuit.
She looked good in the bodysuit to be like 80 though, right? Huh? She looked good to be like 80, right?
Want to start your Mondays off right?
Tune in to the Gangsta Goddess radio show every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Okay, so just type the job website address here. That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician.
This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We are in really like the serious last final stretch of the show. When we left off, we were talking about the NBA drawing the line on fan interaction, and I think the general consensus with the Just a Bit Outside crew is that something needs to be done. They need to review some type of process, make some rules in the off season to protect the NBA players. Really quickly, we're gonna do some MMA talk because we promised that to you. We know we have a lot of MMA fans out there. So, James, what's going on with the MMA?
Okay, so Saturday we had UFC fight night. The main event was Cub Swanson and Artem Lobov. Cub Swanson, number 4 contender in the featherweight division. Artem Lobov is sitting outside of the top 10, so this was him trying to move up. Ended up being a unanimous decision win for Cub Swanson. He improved his record at 25-7 now. Also, Al Iaquinta and Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez is a guy that always can promise an exciting fight. Came out in a full beard, looking mean as hell. Al Iaquinta took 2 years off, so this was his first fight back in 2 years. He actually knocked Diego Sanchez out with a straight right. Third time in his career, and I think he's close to 40 fights now. Almost 40 fights, third time he's ever been stopped. Ovin St. Peru, submission winner over De Lima. Very weird choke. John Dodson, just try to get through this really quick. Bantamweight division. John Dodson went up in weight and took on Eddie Wineland. Unanimous decision with that. Joe Lozon lost to Stevie Ray. Jake Ellenberger got knocked out by Mike Perry with a standing elbow. Knocked him smooth out.
Nice. Really quickly, too. Shout out to Holly Holm for recognizing where she lives and getting back down to 135 to take on Betch Correa.
Betch Correa,
sorry. But, yeah, shout out to Holly Holm and recognizing where you're supposed to be at in the MMA world. Also, we've got some NHL action that we need to report on. My man Mark is going to take that.
NHL wrapped up their first round. It's kind of great that their playoffs parallel the NBA because it's the two major sports having their playoffs at the same time. Second round action in the East, we have the New York Rangers against the Ottawa Senators, and the Washington Capitals taking on Pittsburgh Penguins. That's going to be a good matchup, I think.
Hold on 1 second. I think we have a caller. Caller, what's up?
Yo, what's up? I know you guys are talking about, MMA, and I know Conor McGregor is good, but the undisputed champ is Boban Marjanovic. Boban! Yeah! Boban! He's the GOAT! Boban! Beat to the ultimate.
Yeah, all right, awesome. So
anyway.
We got another ecstatic fan tonight. It's just been really interesting.
Right.
Wrapping up NHL, second round in the West is going to be Anaheim and Edmonton, and Nashville, who just swept Chicago against St. Louis.
Nice. We also, as we mentioned to you guys earlier in the show, we have the NFL draft going down this week. Really didn't get to get into it this week, but if you come back with us next week, we'll discuss draft day, and we will also get into some of the winners and the losers of the draft. We will also next Monday, May 1st, we will have our very first Just a Bit Outside interview. So we are very excited
in-studio
about
interview.
that.
Mark did an
in-studio. Yeah, I'm sorry, in-studio interview.
Yeah.
And we're very excited about that.
Yeah, we got some new closing music for you guys. Trying to add some extra things to the show. We got this nice little closeout song from DJ Delight for Sound Productions.
Shout out.
DJ Delight once again. Parties, special events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, baby gender announcement dates. Get in touch with us if you're interested.
He slices, he dices.
Yeah, really quick, I just wanted to mention Stephon Marbury is leaving his Chinese CBA team, the Beijing Ducks. They only can afford, their rule is they can only give positions to 2 foreign players. He's 40 now. He's getting up there in age. The team wants to move on. He's won 3 championships in his 6 seasons. They asked him to come back as a coach.
Nice.
And he wants to keep playing. So Stephon Marbury is leaving his CBA team, the Beijing Ducks.
I'm pretty sure the folks of Beijing will be sad to hear that, because he made such a great career out there.
There's been a lot of sad people on Weibo. Weibo is the Chinese version of Twitter.
All right, guys. Well, that just about does it. Thanks for hanging in there with us this week. And like I said, tune in next week for our first in-studio interview. Yo, Baltimore, as always, spread love, yo.
I am one with the Force. The Force is with me.
And the Force is with us.
Us. There you go.
Peace.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek.